Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Because you got to set the intention, Mamacita.
Yes, I 180% agree.
She said 180% brains. We are here on the edge where the conversation is pointed in your face, right? The responses never dull.
Right.
Guests are always sharp. Oh, yes. I tricked you up. I said a little different today. How about that? I just want to see who's paying attention. And see, you ain't paying to get up in here, but you better pay attention because we have a woman that knows the strategies when it comes to human resources, when it comes to coaching. She started her own not-for-profit organization. I'm going to get on her about that because nonprofit does not mean no money. And she has a great business plan. We're going to talk about, leaders. What does it look like to be a leader? That's what I'm looking for. Influencers and impactors. I don't need busy people, meeting on the meeting and see what we meeting about. Nonsense. She's going to clear all that up, coloring all the white spaces. Let's welcome her to the edge. How are you, Marla?
Hello, April. Thank you so much. I'm just super excited. I'm happy. That's how I'm doing. I'm happy. I'm ready. I'm invigorated. I'm ready to go.
So many people don't know what happiness is. It's like a cocaine high. They keep chasing it. What's the next thing that's going to satisfy me? Is it ice cream? Is it a new car? Is it a new man? Some new shoes. What is this that's going to be enticing me? How do you stay focused in the moment and just try to stay neutralized?
Oh, that's such a great question. A popular question I'm asked all the time, and even on interviews, I'm asked, Marla, how do you do it all? So I've given myself this name, the work-life harmonizer.
Oh, wow.
I literally had to figure out how to harmonize, not balance, how to harmonize into work and life. Because if you balance, it's something going to always be off, right? So you can't balance. So I teach women to do that in my coaching practice. And so with that being said, I had to figure out how to do it. I'm still doing. I'm a work in progress.
Right.
So to answer that question is I take all areas of my life, personal, physical, spiritual, emotional, career. I take them all and make sure I try to align them to what I want. Does it always go the way I want it to go? Of course not. I mean,
well, alignment is easy, but girl, some just, folks do that and they offset their circadian rhythm. That's one thing, women, I'm going to tell you. If you get your sleep, okay, if you get you at least 6 hours of good sleep,
yes,
and put your CPAP machine on.
Not the CPAP machine.
Girl, the CPAP, all right? Put that on and try to give yourself 3 healthy meals a day. Yeah. Your life will change. But all of this, having all the balls in the air, everybody's not equipped to do that. And my husband always says to me, he says, baby, that word to multitask is really an oxymoron. He said, you're being distracted. You're not able to give full attention to each item. How do you prioritize?
Right. So let's talk about that for a second. The brain cannot scientifically, the brain cannot multitask. So many people don't believe that, but just Google it, look it up. The brain cannot multitask. So the brain can only function and focus on one thing at a time. Even though we can wash clothes and watch TV. We can talk on the phone and type a paper, but the brain is still only focusing on one thing. Okay. So how I prioritize is I look at what I have a calendar. I'm a planner girl. I love planning, right? So I journal. I write out how is my week going to look for this week? What do I have coming up next? And then with my planner, it gives me the top 3. So let me write out my top 3. So I have my top 3 that I focus on for that week again. And then those top 3 I focus on for the days ahead to get me through that week. Now, do interruptions happen? Do things happen? Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect at all. But I prioritize based off of what is important, what's going to help me grow, what's going to help me develop to be the future Marla.
Okay, well, that's fair. That's
First I
fair.
did that.
That's a lot of equity. You're putting a lot of equity into yourself, and that's very valuable, because you're getting a return on your own investment.
Yep.
People don't realize how important that is. That self-care, that downtime, that balance, whatever that balance is, and prioritizing and delegating. Damn it.
Exactly.
Let me show you how to do this. I don't know. Let me show you. Okay. That's the best thing I can do. And you know a lot about that because you've been in the human resource environment for a long time.
Right.
People forget too now with the great resignation. Nobody wants to go back to work, girl. I don't know what they doing for money. They camped out here on the streets, honest to God, because I don't know how they're doing it, but they refuse to go back to the same brick and mortar. Organizations are seeing that to bring in talent, to bring in the labor force that they need, you got to have some sweet packages.
Yeah.
And also to value the employees that you have there because they're the ones that's holding the company down.
Yep.
You're walking a tightrope with human resources. I've been there, great to get the promotion, and I've been there to get my pink slip.
Me too.
It's really, really hard. What are some of the strategies just in that environment? Not particularly your job, but in that environment, what are employers saying to employees and what's that synchronicity about?
Right. So you brought it up already. So let's talk about two trends. We have the great resignation and we have quiet quitting.
Right.
So let's talk about them. So the great resignation came about as COVID hit. People started reassessing their lives and say, you know what? I'm putting in these 40, 50, 60 hours and one virus can take me out. So people are reassessing, wait a minute now.
Right.
I'm spending time with my family. I'm not traveling. I'm not doing the things I want to do. I was talking to one of my colleagues and he said that he listened to a study, a nurse did a study and she asked 100 people, they were over the age of 80, what would you have changed? And you know what they said? They didn't say they would have spent more time with their family. That was the option number 2. The number one thing that they said they wish they wouldn't have worked so hard because that took away from your family.
Absolutely.
So that's where the great resignation is coming from. Because people are like, you know what? I don't have to do this. It's not, and we want to blame the millennials. It's not the millennials, it's everybody, especially Generation Z. Right. But it's my generation, our generation, So I don't want to sit here and say it's just, oh, this company is working me to death, but people are realizing their value and they're realizing life is not a cliche. Life really is short. Really. We can be gone like that. We're all on this conveyor belt, right? So we don't know when that time is. And then here we are wishing. No one wants to be on their deathbed.
Right. Or they'll look in your coffin and say, oh my God.
Yeah.
Such a hard worker.
Right. Is that
But what did he ever contribute to society? Were you ever there at the ballet recital? Were you ever there cheering on the baseball team?
What is that child going to remember about that dad?
Exactly.
So that's part one. Part two, the other trend is quiet quitting. I don't know why this is a trend, April, because quiet quitting has been around for a long time. I guess they decided to put a title on it. But people have been silently not doing their job for a long time. People have been unhappy. So that's where, if you want to ask my opinion, the great resignation has come from quiet quitting. You were already in la la land somewhere. How many people, and there's tons of studies, I don't have to quote them, there's tons of studies. People come to work every day and they're just a shell. Their mind is somewhere in another state somewhere.
Of course.
So that's
mine is at 5 o'clock when they go get the heck out of there.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And they're trying to, but and I'm not knocking those people at all. You got some people who come in, want to do the job and they're great and want to stay there all night long, right? But those quiet quitters are like, again, you know what? I'm doing all this hard work. I'm not getting appreciated. No one's listening to me. I don't feel included. DE&I, which happens to be, let's talk about number 3. DE&I, which happens to be a trend, is not a trend anymore. I just got done talking about this on my other show. It's not a trend. It never has been a trend. You should be infusing diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything you're doing.
Okay, right? but slow down a minute.
Yeah.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is great, but I don't want to be counted as a head count. I want a seat at the table. I want to be a decision maker. I want to be a woman of color or a man of color or a millennial or, from the gay and lesbian community.
Yeah. It's gender,
whatever. Exactly.
It's class. It's not color.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you. I wouldn't want your job for nothing in the world because you walk on a tightrope. You walk on a tightrope. You know, if I poop, they say I farted. If I sneeze, they say I coughed. You know, people are so hypersensitive and they
Ooh.
want to, they want to sue. But you know what? What
Mm,
I do is I make it a teachable moment. I've run into some situations, like I said, that I had to check folks. I don't
mhm.
do it publicly. I do it privately. I have that conversation. If I do it 1 or 2 times, it doesn't go. Then I go to human resources. But you are supposed to be the buffer. You like the police. You got to be the equalizer. And it's not hard. You have to protect the interests of the company because that is your employer. That's what they hire you to do. Along the same lines, you have to be fair and equitable to the individuals that come in there and make that machine run. So
Mhm.
it is, it's a lot going on in that space.
It's
You've
a lot.
transitioned and been able to edit and filter and pull some of this great learning and techniques out in starting a not-for-profit, I Over Teens Inc. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
Yes, so let's back up a little bit and talk about what IO is and where this came from and where this idea came from. Yes, that is correct. IO for teens, as you can see back there. So IO stands for industrial organizational, and the P, which is not included in that, because it would have been IOP for teens, didn't sound right, right? So
Mm.
industrial organizational psychology, which is the study of human behavior in the workplace. And it is what I'm currently getting my PhD in. I am in love with the field. So the first question people will ask me is, well, Marla, what's the difference between IO psychology and HR? Great question. So IO psychology is actual science. It's approved psychology that has been approved through the AMA, American Psychological Association, right? APA. And we study the trends. We study the why behind the behavior. Human resources implement. So a prime example, the IO psychologist may come in to an organization or to a small business or wherever and say, your department's having issues with the bonus structure or whatever, or something like that. Well, HR is going to implement the bonus structure. We are going to come in and understand why the behavior behind the bonus structure is the way it is, and what can you do to rectify it and fix it. That's the difference between the two. So it's a beautiful field. So one day I'm driving down the road and I said, well, wait a minute. There's 25 specialization areas. How will teenagers know how to understand this field, what to do in the workplace? How will they know how to behave? What can they do to help their careers? So I came home and Googled industrial organizational psychology for teenagers, anything for teenagers. All that came up was college programs. So
Mm.
voila, IO for teens. So we have created, or we're in the process of creating, a curriculum for 8th through 12th grade, where we have currently finished the 11th and 12th grade curriculum. And we're going to implement this as an after school program. Hopefully it can be an elective. We're partnering with different local nonprofits to get teenagers involved. And this is for any teenager. I mean, we see a lot of girls that we have in our mix as well, but this is for any teenager because we believe that teenagers need to understand these principles, because again, it's a science. That's what's so unique about it. We're not just teaching regular everyday career skills. We're teaching a science that
Right.
they can apply in their
And
everyday.
so they can be competitive with artificial intelligence because this chat AI girl is taking over the planet. People don't even have to think. You
That's
don't
in there.
sign your name anymore. You don't have to, you know, again, you don't have to talk, you can tweet. All these things have really changed
Yeah.
the trajectory. Now, also, I want to talk a little bit about what you are actually teaching these young adults. What is the psychology? Can you go into that a bit?
Yes, definitely. So we have, and I can't call them off, but we have a total of 5 classifications. One of them is called Discover Your Dream. Another one is called Don't Get Caught Up. Another one is called Different Places, Different Faces. And what we did is so remember I said there's 25 specialization areas in IO psychology. So
Mhm.
some of those specialization areas are HR practices, legal, compliance, DE&I, career coaching, leadership. So a teenager's not going to understand that. So we
Mhm.
took those titles and broke them down into 5 classifications. And within each classification, there are modules in between that as to what we've broken it down and teaching it on their level so they can understand. Oh, so example, like the Don't Get Caught Up classification, that
Right.
module includes the HR compliance and the social media and what you should
Okay.
and should not do, right?
Absolutely.
They need to understand that. So we're teaching them the principles based off of each one of the classifications and each one of the modules from the 25 that we broke down.
Wow. So
Yeah.
let me hear a little bit about your team. Who you brought on to help you construct this?
Oh my gosh. You can't do anything without a team, right? I hate when people say they're self-made because nobody's self-made. You gotta have a team. So I have my CFO, Dr. Jamila Donald. She is helping to help run a lot of stuff. I also have a wonderful cousin of mine, Erin Kendrick. She's also an artist here locally in Jacksonville, Florida. She's helping us with curriculum design. I also have another one of my cousins. I have a lot of family involved. Another one of my cousins, Marla Albertie. She's helping a lot with curriculum design. And then I also have my daughter-in-law. She's helping us do with our content creation as far as social media. She does a lot of the social media posts, and she does an amazing job. We will be hiring on. So as far as board members, it's just me and Dr. Jamila. We will be looking to add on more board members in the future. Like I said, we're just starting. It's brand new. Started back in August.
Well, it's got to start somewhere.
Team. I have a strong team. I have a strong team. We're rolling. We are rolling.
We were talking about sustainability and long term. You know, now you're grassroots and you're starting from the ground up. You know, this is an information superhighway, and you do have a niche. But drawing people to that niche, getting fundraising, getting angel funders, getting in-kind donations, all of this is very competitive. It's very competitive right now. Who are some of the people that you're targeting? Who are some of the people that have a buy-in, stakeholders into what you're doing outside the board member?
Such a great question. So we're looking at after-school programs. Homeschool would be a huge market for us. Homeschools will be, we haven't tapped it quite yet, but because we're working on a lot of local after-school programs, but homeschool will be a huge market for us, as well as anyone that teachers will be a big, huge market for us, because we want one of our objectives outside of creating the curriculum. Another objective is we're going to create a teacher certification, because we can't teach the curriculum forever, right? We need to be able to certify teachers to go out and teach the curriculum so they can have it. Our ultimate goal, we would love to see.
You said the after school curriculum?
Yeah, so after school curriculum. And one thing that we would love to see is we would love to see this as an elective in high school. You know, this could be an elective coming up soon. But our content, our program curriculum is so robust. It can literally, it could be its own little high school, really.
Really? And another thing, it could be a template. It could be a template for other schools, even alternative schools. You know, brains, all kids are not going to go to college. Newsflash.
Nope. And that's why we have two. I'm glad you brought that up. We have two funds. We have one community fund, which is just for that, to help folks in the community, to help teens to move forward with their careers. And we have a scholarship fund for those who do want to go to school. Because our job is to not tell your teenagers to go to school. That's their decision.
And there's some very viable and sustainable careers. What happened to the plumber, the electrician, the butcher, the engineer, all of those things, right? All of those things are very viable careers, and everybody's not cut out to do academia. You know, get that. But you want to provide them options and choices to produce excellence in whatever they do. If you are running your own business, a photography studio, you want to know from A to Z what's proper. You may need to hire some people. You may get caught up in a lawsuit. You never know. But to have this information is exactly is so important. So let's talk about some of the fun things that you do there in Marla, in your community. Tell me some of the activities that you do.
Oh my God, I'm so involved in the community. It's crazy. So I am a long-standing member of the Junior League. Been with the Junior League of Jacksonville 7, 8 years. I really don't even know. I think 7 years. So love doing that. I have been a mentor for multiple years. I've also tutored at the Jacksonville Women's Center here in Jacksonville. Over on the other side of town there. I do tons of volunteering through the Junior League. So we have different volunteer opportunities. I have do volunteering through other organizations as well. I'm always out doing something within my own business. I have a coaching business. It'll be 10 years old, April 1st. Within my own business, I had a 3-year going women's conference called Imagine, which is an acronym for I'm Awesome, Growing in Excellence. And my whole purpose for that, I had one purpose for that conference, is to give other women in the community a platform to speak. That's it. It wasn't about me. I didn't even speak. I mean, I spoke, but I wasn't one of the speakers at the conference. It was for the women. And so people keep asking me, when is that conference coming back? But people don't know. It takes a lot to put on a conference.
Girl, please. Please, and you know what? Again, they want you to do all of this stuff, but then you need volunteers, and
it takes a lot.
You need the buy-in. You need the buy-in. So if you have a beautiful venue that you want to donate, and if you can get people to donate, see, that's what I do for nonprofit organizations, because I found that the events end up being my event. So now I give you a block of hours. I
Yeah.
give you 120 hours. I give you 80 hours. When them is exhausted, they exhausted. However
Yep.
you want me to do that,
Right.
it's good. But it's if you had 3 wishes,
Mm.
what would they be?
Well, the first wish, of course, which I think everyone's going to say, I would wish for more wishes, right? So that would be cool. The second wish, I really would like. I know it's a lot. I have BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. So I
Okay.
think my second wish would be for me to just do what I'm doing 100% of the time,
Mhm.
running my businesses, teaching people, a philanthropist. I want to give. I want to be on
Right.
that Warren Buffett level. You know what I'm saying? Just philanthropist, helping
Absolutely.
my community, helping my city, helping. I love my city. I love what we do here. I love helping teens. I love helping adults. I love coaching women. I love coaching men. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, not just everyone, whatever you identify as. So that would be the second one. And I think the third one is I would just cruise as much as I possibly could. 'Cause I'm a
Oh,
cruiser.
I know. We were talking about that. What's been one of your favorite cruises?
Oh my goodness. So I have to say, so I cruised on Royal Caribbean and Carnival. I cruised on Carnival the most, but I have to say on Royal Caribbean, we went to Labadee, Haiti. And I love to learn about cultures and
Mhm.
different people, how different people live. And even though Labadee is owned by Royal Caribbean, but the people there, the learning the cultures, learning how they
Now, where
celebrate.
is that? I've been on Royal Caribbean, but I've never heard of. You said Lobberly.
It's Labadee, Haiti. It's Labedee, I think, Labadee, Haiti. And learning how they celebrate life, how they celebrate death, how they it was just an amazing undertaking.
Okay.
I really love that.
All
But
right.
all the cruises, I love them. I love them all.
Now, what makes you laugh?
Oh my gosh. One thing, this is such a great question. I love to laugh. You'll find me always laughing, always smiling. I love going to a great comedy show. So I think even people have asked me, Marla, why haven't I done stand up? No, I'm just naturally funny. I can't
Mhm.
go and write a joke and be on script. I can't do that. Not I. But I just enjoy life. I truly enjoy life. Yes, do I have downs and issues?
Sure.
I sure do.
When
But
you're down, honey, that's what I say. That's when you're recharging. Because
yep, yep,
I can't be
yep,
again happy and on hype 100% of the time.
right.
That's too
And
much
people,
work.
it
Sometimes
irks me when people think that. Yeah,
sometimes
it
I
irks
just need
me
to
when people
just
think that.
level out. Yeah, just chill. I don't need to
Yeah,
be doing a whole lot.
exactly.
I don't need to be doing
Yeah,
a whole lot.
it does. It irks me when people think that. Like you're just. I mean, no, I'm not always hyper. I mean, I am a happy go person, but I have my moments. I have tons of them.
Oh,
Tons of them. I'm a human being. I'm not a machine. But it doesn't mean that it's going to dictate my life.
right.
I'm a firm
Absolutely.
believer in the law of attraction. So I'm always manifesting greatness in my life.
Yeah.
So
And speaking into fruition every
I'm
single
going to move
time.
forward. I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimistic person.
Absolutely.
So that's just how I think. Everyone doesn't have to think the way I think. It's okay.
Absolutely. So if you were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be and why?
Oh, that's a good one. Let me think. So number one, I don't like to cook, so I'm not in my kitchen a lot.
Okay.
So if I had to be an appliance, I guess maybe a microwave because they get things done
Microwave?
quicker.
Yeah.
Maybe because they get things done quicker and it's convenient.
Really?
I like convenience.
I want to be the spice grinder.
I didn't
Yes,
think about that one. So you go show I don't know.
yes, yes, girl. That's what I want to do. I want to kick it up a notch. Absolutely. What would you
That's
tell a 25-year-old?
Gosh, I would tell her, girl, stop buying them during. You should have stopped buying all those during CDs when you was in the Navy, because back then CDs was a thing and DVDs was a thing. Stop buying all those during CDs and DVDs. But you know what?
Mine
It's
would have been purses. Mine would have been
right.
purses.
Purses too. Purses. I got a lot of those now. But I would have told her outside of telling her. I would have told her, you all right? It's gonna be okay. It's okay. I had my son by then. He was 4 or 5 by then. Um, it's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be
Okay.
okay.
All right. Tell us about your life in the Navy.
Oh gosh, I did 3 year stint in the Navy. Got out due to reasons. But It was lovely. That's where I learned my supervision skills at. I was a ship store supervisor. So you put an 18-year-old in a supervisory role, you're going to learn real quick how to lead people. And so I was a nighttime supervisor when we went out to sea. Unfortunately, I did not make the Mediterranean cruise, the Med cruise, but I did go to Canada, Nova Scotia, Canada, and I loved it.
Oh, I know.
I am grateful for my military time, and I have worked with veterans. I still work with veterans. I'm proud to be a veteran myself, and I wouldn't change anything about it, even though things happen that I care not to talk about. But I'm grateful for my time in the military.
Well, you know what I did yesterday? I was at a documentary for the 688 troop of women.
Okay.
Women of color.
Okay.
And that were in the Second World War and went to Germany. No,
Wow.
went to London
Wow.
to sort the mail. Girl, it was the best documentary.
Wow.
I learned so much about history. I learned about all of the treatment and lack thereof, and still the disparity. But when you're a sailor, you strip all that gender, emotion, all that. You are a mechanical animal. You belong to the system. But you were able to get out and, use all those skills to create two great programs. One, your corporate gig, and then secondly, this great ioforteens. I'm looking so forward to hearing more about you, how you guys are going to be self-sustainable, what you're going to invent, what you're going to make. These young kids are going to get their own Win Generation Farm, and I'm gonna help you support you in that effort, because I think really the kids that focus on STEM are our future.
Yeah.
And girls really need to get involved in mathematics and engineering, and again, the mechanics of how things work. And you're going to be a great teacher. Thank you so much, Marla, for being on the end. Tell my brains how to get in contact with you and how to get more information over ioforteens.
Thank you so much. This was amazing, April. Yes, definitely. So www.ioforteens.org. Please go out there. Please sign up for our email list. You'll get a free download, of course. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms. It's ioforteens. If you just type in ioforteens, you should come up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please follow us on our YouTube channel. I think it's ioforteens1 on our YouTube channel. For me, if you want to email me, you can email me for my coaching services. contact@truthspeakscoaching.com. contact@truthspeakscoaching.com. I would love to help you harmonize, not balance. I'm not going to help you balance nothing. I'm going to help you harmonize your life. I am 100% confident in my abilities to do that. And reach out to me, contact me, follow us, support, go out and support us. We cannot do a nonprofit without your donations.
Absolutely.
So please,
time, energy, money is energy, brains. I tell you that all the time. Your resources, maybe you have a space, maybe you have a field trip that you can offer, some coaching for some parents.
Please,
contact. All right.
Reach out.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Brains, go in and like, love, share, and subscribe. Like, love, share, and subscribe. 3 times the charm. Like, love, share, and subscribe. All right. We'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you so much, Marla.